What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. Have no fear. Your councilman is here, and we have just gone all in. You're going to want to stay tuned because this is the AEW All In London post show. Check us out. We're getting to get started right now.
Howdy, folks. This is Willow Nightingale, and you are watching Women's Wrestling Talk.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Greetings and salutation, everybody, and happy Sunday. This is the AEW All in London post show. A phenomenal 4 hours of wrestling has just been had, and so much for us to talk about, man. Some great matches here, and of course, you know me, I'm not the most advanced AEW fan, so I am definitely going to have help on this post show. And right now, she is what I consider to be everything AEW, the AEW's corner, the media source, the everything you need to go to, and new to the WWT team. Miss Courtney Rice is here with us today. How are you doing today on this show, Courtney?
Hi, I'm actually doing good. It was a very eventful All In today, 4 hours in Wembley Stadium in London, and there's so much to talk about. Highs, lows, surprises, returns, everything.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And this was actually my first full AEW pay-per-view. Watched it from the 0 hour till the end. And I got so much shit I got to talk. So much shit. I have figured it out now. I have figured out why people do not like AEW. I have finally figured it out watching this. And it's not as bad as people think it is. But we are going to get into it. But first, I want to get your opinion on, before we jump into each match, your overall pick for this on a scale of 1 to 10. What are you giving this year's AEW All In?
For this year, I will say this was a lot better than it was last year. It was a lot more better. The build-ups for every single match was so much more better than this year than it was last year. So overall, I'm going to give it a solid 8, because even though there was a lot of misses, hits, and a lot of in between, this was an overall good, solid pay-per-view, and this is their second year doing Wembley, so this was a much better improvement than they did last year.
Okay. And just so we get a little bit more assistance in the AEW realm, he's always around the world. He is our WWT correspondent because he's everywhere. He's in Japan, he's in Toronto, he's at all the PLE pay-per-views, making sure to get all the hot news. Mr. Jason Gray is in the building with us today, stopping in. Jason, how are you today?
What's up, guys? What a pay-per-view, right?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
You know, I'm a big believer that AEW never fails on pay-per-view. I feel like there's only been one pay-per-view where I've watched it and I'm like, that didn't do it for me. But today it did it. I heard you guys give your rankings. I'm going to say about a 9 with the caveat that I'm a big believer, too, that not everybody deserves to be on a pay-per-view. They had a 16-man match, they had a 12-man match, and they had a 10-man match. Like, come on. Like, yeah. I mean, that thing started at 11 Eastern. It's 5:15, 5:30 Eastern now. Like, granted, I didn't have anything to do today, which is why I enjoy the 1 o'clock starts, but come on. Let's condense this a little bit, please.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. It is a good thing it started at 10 a.m. over here, because if it were at like 5 or 6 o'clock, no, we wouldn't have been doing this post show. I'd have been asleep.
Right.
But I figured out why AEW has not caught me, and it was from watching All In. It has nothing to do with the wrestlers. It's the way they shoot this thing. They don't. So what I've realized is they shoot it like they shoot sports. And so they don't shoot it for the folks at home. They shoot it as if they are there in an arena. Because they showed a shitload of arena shots where I'm just like, yo, these are supposed to be times where you're panned in, focused on the wrestler coming down. Why are y'all keep showing me a not full Wembley Stadium so much? And I'm like, y'all shoot this like football. And that's where I started to understand this is what's missing. Y'all are not shooting for the home viewers on camera. You're shooting as if you're at an NFL game. And I think that's what's not catching a lot of people, because there's a lot of stuff folks missed when it came to these matches. And I have them for like a few of these where I saw it was like, when this spot happened, had you shot this right, this would have went over a lot more for the audience at home. But
was one of them when Ospreay at 9, they didn't show him jump back into the ring? Like, come on. Like on our show, my guy Brian, he always talks about the technical mishaps that AEW tends to happen very often. And I mean, Jim Ross is a legend. He called him Daniel Bryan within the first 30 seconds of being on the call. Like, that should not be happening 5 years later. But I get what you're saying, Farrell. It's a little different than shooting it for TV. They shoot it as, you know, for sport.
As they're there. Yeah. Same thing with like when Hook was taking on Chris Jericho. The Taz moment should have been the focal point, but both of them were doing the stuff at the same time, so we didn't catch both camera views. You went back to Hook, and we didn't even really see Taz's full hold to him, and I'm just like, that's when it clicked to me. I'm like, y'all are shooting this like y'all are here, not for us, and that's what they're missing. That's the biggest thing that they're missing. But let's jump into the 0 hour. We now mind y'all, I was not aware that I was hosting this thing. The real TV asked was, "Hey, are you joining in?" I'm like, "Yeah," and then she was like, "Use this picture for this." I'm like, "Am I in the driver's seat?" She was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, well, let me put some pants on." I didn't know I was working today. I thought I was just talking. So I know there were a few other matches that were involved in the 0 hour. But I want to get into the one that we did start off with, which was Willie Nightingale, Tomohiro Ishii versus Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway. Now, Courtney, you said Chris and Stokely was walking away with it, but Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro is the fan favorites one over the day. I want to ask you, ranking it 1 to 10 for this match, and also what was the good, and then what were some of the let's talk about it.
I gotta give kudos to Stokely Hathaway for taking those bumps. Chris Statlander trained him. Like, no shit. I was like, whoa, he actually did some moves, and they were very solid for someone that doesn't wrestle. So I have to give kudos for Stokely Hathaway and hanging in there, especially going up against somebody like Ishii. That's incredible. And I have to give credit to both ladies because they both really delivered. It was nice to see them tag team along with Statlander and Stokely. And also the winner, as I said, the winner of the match gets to choose a stipulation for their match at All Out. So I like to give this match a solid 7. For me, it really did show a lot of it. Of course, there was a few mishaps with the bumps, and I know Stokely was trying to do some moves that I was scratching my head like, huh? What's he trying to do? But overall, and both ladies really delivered. Both of them really delivered. They show the athleticism, and the storyline is there. So I'm excited to see it moving forward on how it's going to pull out in 2 weeks at All Out in Chicago.
Yes, indeed. Jason, how about yourself?
Stokely hitting the spine buster was awesome. And not exactly match related. RJ City wants Stokely in the G1 next year. Before I jumped on, I watched the post show had just started, and he was like, "Yeah, we can have him against Tanahashi and this one and that one." And then Renee's like, "Well, Forbidden Door's right around the corner too, so let's just get him there." But look, it was a fun match. It was an entertaining match, which I think is what it was for. Obviously, now with Willow and Statlander coming up in a couple weeks, that's where it's going to be a little more serious, a little more, intense than what this one I felt was.
Yeah, I think the same thing. I think this match was perfect where it was, 0 hour, get everyone started, fun match for every. If you're there, fun match you have seen, very, also entertaining on camera as well for us and the viewers at home. I think they did exactly what they were supposed to do, and that was deliver, hit the fan spots. Of course, like I said, we have a few bumps, but those happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna like talk shit about nobody when it comes to like certain bumps, certain things messing up. I get it. Stuff happens. It's a big stadium. It's loud. Sometimes things, communication is hard to hear. Stuff happens, but nonetheless, they still put on a fantastic match. And your winners, of course, like we said, was Willow and Tomohiro. Now, Courtney, I'm gonna throw this one to you because I was getting wings when this other match happened, but apparently it was like 14 people in the ring. I know my boy Khan was in there and Brian Cage. What was that match?
Oh my goodness. Well, that match was a little bit of chaos. So it was Dustin, Sammy Guevara, the Von Erichs against the Cage of Agony. Also, it was nice to see Kevin Von Erich back at ringside with his sons. It was a little bit crazy. And also, Private Party was at ringside because they were the host of All In. So it was nice to see them get the crowd hyped up and seeing everybody do the shots signature. So that was really awesome to do. And it was just really kind of a fun match overall. It's always great to see Dustin back in the ring. He looks like he's having a blast with the Von Erichs, with Kevin Von Erich, and they're just having a blast. Same thing with Sammy. They're both tag team champions, trios champions. And it's just really fun, especially seeing Kevin Von Erich doing the mandible claw with his sons and Dustin and Sammy. That was just something to really get the crowd hyped up. And that was just a really solid and fun match to see.
Chaos is a good descriptor. There was a lot going on, but because I'm a weirdo about certain things, Sammy Guevara had Wolverine themed gear, as did Brian Cage.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're on opposite teams. How does that happen? I don't know. But I mean, look, and then people were making jokes online about Sammy. I don't know if it was last night or during the pre-show, but he was in a suit. He had a man bun and was carrying his title like Cody does, how he folds it instead of throwing over the shoulder. And he's like, this guy just wants to be Cody. Yeah, I would want to be Cody as well if I was in the game. But yeah, these matches, look, everybody gets the payday, which is a great for the workers. But as far as a fan watching, I was like doing my laundry and loading the dishwasher and just it was just background noise until the pay-per-view started for me. But whatever. It's on YouTube. The 0 hour is for free. It's on YouTube. You can watch it if you didn't watch it. Give it a try and let us know what you think.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same light as Jason. I was getting everything ready, like finishing up some paperwork, trying to get these wings here. Like it's came in and out of it, and then same thing like Jason said. I was like, wait, when did Sammy Navarro and Brian Cage become a tag team? Like, wait, when he joined them? Wait, why are they both in the? Who's fighting right now? What? I was like, because I came in like smack in the middle. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. I look, Dusty Rhodes is like Dustin is about to jump over the top rope, and I'm like, whoa, and then he don't. I'm like, okay, good. Don't do an edge. I need an edge moment. Don't do that. And I didn't even know who won. But to Jason's point, it's one of those it was background noise, but not necessarily a bad thing. I think that's what 0 hour is. And I think that's more for the people that are there waiting for the show to start, as opposed to more directed to us to sit there and watch the match as much. And also happening on the 0 hour, Saraya came down to the ring with the entire family. Like she came prepared, like she came deep. AEW London. I wish we had pictures, but just found out I was hosting. So you just got to just listen to it and imagine it if you didn't see it. But came down to the ring because she was pissed that she was not on the AEW All In card in London, in her home country, and was demanding that the show be stopped until somebody comes and challenge her. And who better to start this off and kick off AEW with a bang? The return of Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter came through. Thought we were gonna get the match, didn't really get the match. I see they trying to maybe save that to develop a storyline. Jason, I want to get your thoughts on the return of Jamie Hayter,
aka when you order Becky Lynch on Temu. Look, I mean, I don't know if that is the ultimate misjudgment of changing your hair or the ultimate troll job. Like, I mean, it could have went either way. We tweeted that on our page, and we had a lot of interactions today. But like, we said it as a joke. Jamie Hayter's great, but one, the big return shouldn't have been on the 0 hour. I feel like Saraya could have come out during the pay-per-view at some point to set that up. The pre-show or the post-show that just started right before I jumped on, Saraya and her family came out and she was, every other word was the F word. It's like when a child learns a swear word for the first time. It was F this, F that, F this, F that, and then she stormed off. So like, all right, Saraya, yes, you are from there. You should have been on the show, but you weren't. You got the big return of Jamie Hayter. Everybody thought, Jamie would be there to help Britt, but I think this is better than her helping Britt because it's her own story. She's the main player now. She's not the backup singer like she was with Britt Baker and Rebel before. So the Becky Lynch thing was a joke. People on Twitter light my ass up, and I'm like, it was a joke. Calm down. It's a Sunday afternoon. Let's just have some fun.
I mean, you shot with the hair. Yeah, I agree with it. It's the jacket too that did it for me. I'm like,
oh yeah, okay.
I'm like, that's when you said like she might be trolling. I'm like, yo, she might be, because I'm like, you are definitely 2 for 2 in the Becky attire right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if she meant, like you said, I don't know if she meant to do that, but it's like if even if you didn't, I would troll that. I would definitely troll that on the internet. And
well, you know what? On the like before everything happened, I put in the group chat, is there any chance Becky Lynch shows up because she's been MIA? She's been off the radar and she's technically a free agent. She could have shown up if she wanted to. So maybe, like I said, I don't know if it was just a misstep or a purposely troll job, because it was genius if it was a troll job.
Yeah, I agree. Courtney, let me ask you, with Jamie Hayter returning and coming down during Saraya's time, what do you think that leads to? Is it a potential match at All Out? Or is this something that we might get on one of the weekly programs like Dynamite or Collision?
This is going to have to be on a pay-per-view, especially on television-wise. I'm curious what's going to happen on Dynamite after All In, because there's just so many things that could happen. And seeing that story build up, maybe All Out, but I wouldn't be shocked if they try to build it out when it comes to Wrestle Dream, to at least give it a month for it to develop, start it cooking, and see what happens from there. But if it doesn't happen All Out, I would love to see it at Wrestle Dream. And I feel like they are going to have a really good rivalry. 2 women from the UK, similar backgrounds, seeing them go one-on-one, and I definitely could see potential matches from them that could be good, great, and also spectacular, especially in a very loaded women's division. I feel like they do have something that they can build on.
Okay. I have no idea who Jamie Hayter is. So when the pop came, I was like, oh, the return, or so what, I don't know. But y'all seem happy as hell that she's back. And I was just glad to see Saraya, formerly known as Paige, out there. And I'm just like, well, hey, as long as she's still in the ring getting some kind of shot, that's all that really matters to me. But everybody seemed like the pop was just, you couldn't deny it. So it was just like good to see, okay, this is how we're kicking these off. But to Jason's point, this is another thing that comes in with the problem I have with AEW. Why would that not be the opening of All In? The same way as the first match we're going to get into, which was the ladder match and you still had 10 minutes left on 0 hour and had all their entrances during 0 hour. Like,
that was weird.
Why?
Very, very odd. It was very odd.
And so I want to ask, like, to the both of y'all, whichever does that typically happen with these programs, or is that like a first time that that's been done here on AEW?
You know, I wonder if that is a production thing. Sorry, Courtney, didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, that's okay.
Because there were 12 guys that had to get introduced, and they all had big introductions. I mean, the House of Black had like the Druids, in a sense, all come out, and like it was just part of the thing. And you wanted, I imagine that it is maybe a production call. Let's take 10 minutes of the pre-show instead of using 10 minutes for intros on the main show that we're really paying for, if that makes any sense. Maybe back to production, Councilman. Like, it could just be, let's just save some money, put the 10-minute intros. It could have went either way, but I don't remember them ever doing 10 minutes of intros leading into a pay-per-view, and I'm 99% sure I bought almost all of them over the last 5 years. So,
yeah. Well, this poses a question that Dylan asked a little bit earlier, and I wanted to get y'all thoughts on the two. He said, I got a question for y'all. Do you think that the fake TK was running out of time? The pacing was good, but the usual AEW pacing. And I will say some of this kind of felt like it was rushed throughout this pay-per-view. Now, is that just me just because I haven't, typically watched these, or would y'all say that the timing and the pacing felt a little off on this pay-per-view?
Go ahead, Courtney.
I know since I started watching AEW in 2022, there were times where it felt a little bit fast. But I know in the opening, I never had to deal with that, because usually once a pay-per-view opens, they usually do like a quick promo, kick off the show, get everybody hyped up. And also, I noticed that they didn't do a promo for the trios match. I mean, of course, everybody's like, oh yeah, trios. But technically, there was a promo that's been building up to get everybody hyped up, which I was a little sad that they didn't have that promo just to kind of see it, especially updating it from Collision on Saturday night, where they just announced the newest trios team that was added to the ladder match. So there was also, and I get it, it is Wembley and everybody wants to have a memorable entrance. I get it, but I just felt some of it was a little bit too fast, too slow. And of course, I mean, it's live TV. A lot of stuff is going to go wrong, but you just have to like flip the switch and keep going.
Gotcha.
What I noticed tonight, which maybe might be why people think the pacing might be off, the pre-match promos are a lot shorter than they used to be. I feel like they used to be a few minutes, and I feel like these ones tonight were 1 minute to wrap everything up. There was no long, drawn-out stuff that we already know. Dylan, yes, I know these pay-per-views usually go 14 hours, but I mean, the pay-per-view costs. And if it was a thing where if they could cut time on the main show by getting these intros out on the free show, it's a smart play. It makes good business sense.
Yeah, but production-wise, man, I'm just like, what are we doing? What are like you? It was like, because it said 10 minutes on the clock. AEW, all in starts now. Wait, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is the clock wrong? Or are we? I was like, nah, I know it don't say 10 o'clock on here on the Pacific Coast.
Right.
What's happening? But I get like how you say, but I'm just like, so in these cases, some of these matches maybe could have been shortened to put that in here, because I think this London ladder match was a big match. And I think even too for the finish of this match, I think was fantastic. Except in two cases. This one I understand, but for a lot of the other ones I didn't get. Why did they not do the titles like they did the AEW World title, where the two people are sitting there and they present them for the championship? I don't know why they didn't do that for the rest of these belts. I know why, because they don't fucking aren't relevant. So that's why they didn't do it. But I'm like, that's some stuff that's missing. The one thing I didn't like about this ladder match was, how is it a trios match? You only got to pull one belt down.
Good call.
Yeah.
Like, why wasn't it the hook that you take all three down?
Because that's probably a WWE IP. They probably have the trademark and the IP on that triangle hook thing. The reason I think that they did not do the intros like they do for the main event, it's simple. It's just that's the main event. That was the big, the reason we were all there for the most part. So that I was honestly hoping every title changed, and it almost did tonight, with the exception of the tag belts for the Young Bucks. I really was, and Mercedes, but like I was really hoping every title was going to change, and it was going to be a refresh / reboot for AEW. But with all the title changes we got, I'm curious to see how they follow up with this on Wednesday, and then moving forward to All Out.
Yeah. So let's start with you about this London ladder match. Now we know the fourth team was a mystery until I believe Saturday, where we announced that it was Pac, and then Claudio and the other guy I can't never remember from
Wheeler Yuta.
That guy. I ain't gonna say that. That guy. He know who he is. He know who he is. They were added to this match and were the ones that walked away as the trios championship. So I got to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how did you feel about this ladder match? What were your good moments that you looked like from this, and what were kind of the ones that was like, okay, let's talk about it?
I love anything with the House of Black. Literally, I was watching today and I was like, I wonder what their shirts look like on Shop AEW. And I bought a new House of Black shirt just from watching. Like, I love it. I love anything with those guys. The ladder match is always fun. Am I not here anymore? Oh, am I there? Hello?
Yeah. I'm like, what is going on? I didn't touch nothing.
Anything with the House of Black works for me. Ladder matches are always fun, and the chaos of it all. I'm glad that Christian and Killshot and Nick Wayne lost. Unfortunately, later on, that my joy for that was ruined. But again, we'll get into that later. Ladder matches are always fun. My wife hates ladder matches. This is a fun fact. She's in the other room. She can't hear me. She hates ladder matches because it's always, why is it taking so long to get up the ladder? Because they're like, the struggle to get up the ladder. She hates that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the ladder match. And not just because the House of Black was, even more than just because the House of Black was in it.
Okay. Courtney, what about yourself? So y'all just not gonna give me what is like? It's supposed to be just 2 buttons that you press, and it just does the most. We keeping it just like this. Y'all gonna see this and this. No.
Hands up, councilman. Hands up.
I'm gonna just yes this all episode. Just Courtney, how about yourself? On a scale of 1 to 10, and then what were your good spots, and what were your ones where we got to talk about it on the post show?
Honestly, I give this match a solid 8 because I just love seeing ladder matches. They're always so fun, unforgettable spot moments that you will remember by. And it was also great, of course, to see House of Black, the Bang Bang Gang. It would have been great to see Julia Hart come in and kind of like scare off Mother Wayne, which that would have been really epic. I kept saying, like, I wonder if Julia's gonna be there, because that would have just been really epic too, to like scare her off. But it was really funny seeing Juice spray Mother Wayne because the fans went nuts. The crowd was going nuts, and Tony Schiavone was actually loving that on the commentary as well. He was having a blast, and I enjoyed seeing Pac have his moment in Wembley with the Blackpool Combat Club. It was just a really nice moment, and seeing at the end of the match, House of Black was shaking Brody King, trying to shake Pac's hand. That's definitely a mutual sign of respect. And seeing that they were happy that he got his moment, and really excited to see where the trios division is going to go from here. So there's a lot of competition within the trios division. You have not only the Bang Bang Gang, House of Black, you have Top Flight, many trios. So I'm really excited on where this is gonna go moving forward with Dynamite, Rampage, Collision, and it's gonna be a fun division to watch.
Yeah, I enjoy watching this match. This one got me interested in everyone else's. Like I got Christian Cage's in the Patriarchy. It made me a little more interested in Bang Bang Gang, and I was like, hey, okay, I'm gonna have to start watching y'all. As much as I said I thought they were gonna win because Jay White was coming, my second pick is I'm like Jason. I'm like, honey, I'm a House of Black guy. But just because of how they've been treating them, I'm just like, I don't know if y'all gonna win. And it kind of seems like they did it again. I'm glad to have seen Pat get his moment in Wembley, but I don't think it was high enough for then House of Black needing if that makes sense. I just because it's not like this is a match where Pac had to get pinned or anything like that. Like I really would have loved to have seen House of Black come out. That's the only bad part I have about it for me. And that's just from a bias point. The good spots was this was a successful ladder match. It was a great story told. Everybody had phenomenal spots. Like it wasn't dull. It wasn't a boring moment. It didn't feel like it was, too long or too short. You didn't know who was going to win. And so I think whenever you can have it to where it's like, okay, I'm not sure who's taking this, I think you've had a successful match. So I'm gonna give it also to 8 out of 10, just because House of Black didn't win.
Where is Moxley? Is he hurt? Is he just taking that vacation he finally deserved after the?
He's on vacation.
Finally,
yeah, he is on vacation.
He's on vacation.
Yes,
well,
he is on vacation.
With the Combat Club and Pac winning, and Danielson winning, I mean, Mox needs a title. Mox got to pick up a belt here somewhere.
I mean, there's 13 other ones that nobody's really doing anything with.
That is true. Yeah,
he can go beat Okada and become the Continental Breakfast Champion. Is that the name?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, bagels all around. One of those matches. But yeah, so let's get into the second match. Gotta go through a couple of these first. The AEW Women's World Championship. Toni Storm versus Mariah May. Mariah May is your new AEW Women's World Champion. And I just got to be the first to say, robbery of the night. The fact that this was the second match is gotta be some of the shittiest booking they could have done in this entire All In. The fact that this was number 2, I'm just not feeling that. Like Darby and Scapegoat could have been number 2.
Could have, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially after the match that they put on. But I want to know from you, Courtney, first. How were you feeling about this match? You already know how we're acting from the scales, the good and the bad, but overall, how are you feeling about how this story came to, I guess, maybe a conclusion or just the end of this first chapter to a next one? How do you feel about the way it turned out?
I do want to say it was very weird putting it as a second match because I was sitting down with my brother and we were going to see what match was coming next. And I really thought the Casino Gauntlet match was going to be the second match afterwards. And when they put out this match, I'm like, huh? What? So it was kind of a little bit of an odd space to put it in. But I am going to give it a 9 out of 10 because they both provided a storytelling. And Jason, I told Councilman this story. So this is how it got me into AEW. In 2022 in March, Toni Storm left WWE and I met her at a meet and greet in Philadelphia. And yeah, and I had the chance to talk with her because there was nobody at her table. I just went over there and talked with her a bit. And I know this was like after she left. And I told her, like, she's going to find somewhere. She's going to find somewhere to go. And I gave her a hug and encouragement saying that she's going to find somewhere. A couple days later, she made her debut on AEW, and I was hooked afterwards.
Wow.
And And
cool.
2 years later, this year, I met Mariah May in Philadelphia. So I was very happy to meet her, Mariah, when I was in person. And this was during my reign as Miss New Jersey. I got to meet her, I got to talk with her, and it was just so nice to see that. And this whole match just came as a sentimental, the storytelling behind it, everything they put into it, even during the match where Mariah slapped her own mother in the face. And Nigel, he was just praising her, and Tony Schiavone's trying to be the voice of reason. Like, what's wrong with you, Nigel? It was just so funny. And Tony was trying to like comfort her mother, and she got the crowd going. And it was so nice seeing Luther there, and he gave Mariah the finger. It was just all around. And Mariah got a kiss, and Nigel got a kiss from Mariah May. Which that is something he's gonna remember. But overall, I just felt it was a really great match. And also it was very weird to see Mina Shirokana on the stands because I really thought she was gonna have some type of interference during the match because I know she's friends with Mariah. She does have respect for Tony. So I mean that's gonna leave a lot more questions and answers going into Dynamite. Seeing Tony lose everything, I don't think it's the end of their story yet. I do think there is still left of Tony to do, but I'm very curious on what Mariah is going to say during Wednesday on Dynamite. And also with Mina's end, how is she going to feel? Is she going to side with Mariah? Is she going to side with Tony? So there is a lot of questions and answers that we have to get after their incredible match, and everybody was on their feet for Toni Storm, even though she lost. Everybody was on their feet clapping for her because she was a very respectable champion during her reign.
I didn't mind this match going on second only because it was a match I was looking forward to. And I think the entire story has been perfect. I'd love them bringing the Turner Classic Movie guy in at several points throughout this whole thing. I just thought it was perfect. And I don't know what happens next, but I'm excited to see. I don't know how long. I mean, I know I made the joke on this show to TK about, well, the Toni Storm character could go on forever because she's timeless. But I don't know if that's really how I'm feeling right now. But look, if she needs somebody in the chat said that she needs to take time off, take time off. You know, let Mariah work with some of the newer, the new talent, get some more people over, and then move from there. And then maybe Toni Storm comes back in. What is their Full Gear is their November pay-per-view, I believe. So let her take a few months off, come back, and restart the story if they need to.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I do though. I will say I think this character can last just for the simple fact that you have so many eras of cinema that she can start.
Yes, yeah.
So it's like, so imagine when she finally does get to Technicolor, and it has like that one, or even like the downfall of what this 20s silhouette, kind of noir type character goes through. Like I was saying in I think Fridays, like her, like with the running makeup now and stuff like that, like showing up to so-called set kind of drunk in a way and just not really fully there, like seeing the downfall of timeless Toni Storm. And then you start to see her try to climb that back up. But like you said, I think with time and allowing Mariah May to get with other folks, that would allow that character to be able to keep going. I'm giving this match a 10 out of 10. Any girl that slapped her mama in public on camera like that, that's 10 out of 10. The rest of the match could have been horrible. That girl slapped her mama for no reason.
I hope the mom's envelope was padded very well for that spot.
I hope she got a nice check for that because I was like, why she slap him? I was like, I don't know. I was like, was this part of the story? It was like, no. It's like her mom has never been involved.
Yeah, exactly. Never been involved. So,
but it just made her the heel you needed to be, and you could just see it in the works of like Mariah thinking through in that match, like, how can I make my own home country pissed at me, like really turned me into this villain that I need to be. And you could see her wheels turning during this match, and she hit him at every single point. Like, this is what, as towards the people in the comments saying, like Dylan and Joseph and Eddie and Eric, that this is the storytelling that you need to apply to all of your matches. This was beautifully told all the way through to the end. And at some point, I even thought Tony was going to take it. And for Mariah to end that well, I just thought it was dope. Only thing I didn't like is you punk-ass cameraman. You punk-ass cameraman. You're supposed to stay on the champion as she gets on the turnbuckle. Not show me a not full Wembley Stadium for the next 30 seconds and then go to her holding up the belts. No, you're supposed to show her get up on the top and focus on her. And you cut her music off way too soon. You're supposed to let her get to the ramp, show her titles one more time, then cut the music off, and then go to Toni Storm and let her get her appreciation. It felt too rushed. That girl hadn't even came out of the camera showing the ring yet before you cut her music.
So the reason why this story worked a lot better than the others is because RJ City was a big part of it. Building it, producing it.
Yeah.
It's not Tony Khan. We all know Tony Khan doesn't know how to book women. I still think he's a virgin. But RJ City is the reason why this story has worked from Jump Street. You know I'm right, or at least you're thinking about it now.
I can't see them now. But some of the outfits Fake TK wore, I was like, yo, I ain't saying Jason right, but I ain't saying Jason wrong either. A lot of evidence. But Dylan says a 10 out of 10 for me. Also, no more excuse for Fake TK on the weekly shows. Put in some effort. Jeffrey Bosa feeling the same way. People were saying Britt sucked. But we'll get to that match in a little bit. Not just matches, Councilman, just the women's division in general. Yeah, but like to Jason's point, like he said, I don't think he really knows how to book them in the capacity that they need to. But we're gonna keep moving forward. I believe the next match was
Jericho Hook.
Yep.
Yeah, this thing. First off, did not know Hook was Taz's son. Did not know that.
Is this the first time you've watched AEW?
What I tell you, I do not watch this shit whatsoever.
Oh yeah.
Religion, all this ain't never grabbed me one bit. First of all, didn't know Taz could make a tall child, so I just thought that was dope because he don't look that like him. And I was like, yo, now I'm interested. I don't know why. Me finding this out about him, I'm just like, you know what? Hook is my guy now. Don't know why.
All right.
Don't know why that did it for me. But he is now a 3-time FTW champion, defeating the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho. I'm not gonna be an a-hole about this. So Jason, let me get your thoughts on this match. Now, and the question I will ask you: was it a necessary match for All In, or was this something that could have taken place at either another pay-per-view or on the weekly program?
This could have been a Dynamite match. Every AEW pay-per-view, me and my friends on That Wrestling Podcast, we talk about it could have been shorter. It could have been shorter. This is one of those matches. Now, for me, I'm a Jericho fan. I'm in the vortex. I think that everybody gets all bent out of shape and they say, oh, it's the old guy. He's not putting people over. Well, guess what? He's putting people over. He lost to Hook. Brian Keith was doing nothing. Big Bill was doing nothing. All the Jericho Appreciation Society guys were doing nothing. All the Inner Circle guys were doing nothing until Jericho came around. So everyone that says he's the please retire chance, I don't get it. I'm a fan. I thought the match was fun, but it could have been on TV. It did not have to be on pay-per-view. It could have been the main event of the 0 hour, and then we could have got 10 minutes of intros for the trios match on the main card, you know? So I loved it. It's fun. It's entertaining. The high guys makes me laugh every time. So yeah, that's my take.
Yeah, I got you. Courtney, as the president of the Jericho fan club, I wanted to ask you, how did you feel about the overall match? And the same question, like, do you feel like pay-per-view, or could this have been on the weekly programming? And then what does this do for Jericho moving forward?
I want to say it's on Dynamite. I just felt like it could have been on All Out instead of Wembley. Like a pay-per-view that's not too big. This could have been in Chicago. Because I figured oh, that could make sense. Like being All Out, Chicago, anything goes, like in the biggest show. I get it. I'm a huge Jericho fan. I've been a fan since his WWE days, his Ruthless Aggression era days. And also I will say he did get to perform his theme song live, which I will say the audio was much better than it was last year at All In, because you couldn't hear anything. You could not hear anything. And also, I just felt like it didn't have the same energy it was with Judas, but the audio was so much more better. It's like you could hear him sing, you could hear him clearly, which I did love. Also, it was nice to see Hulk have a moment with his dad, Taz. It got to a point with Taz, it was just nice to see him do the Taz mission again. All the fans were going nuts, and just seeing him do that. And I know he was really proud of his son winning the title. It could have been a little bit shorter, and I know the match is anything goes, but I'm very curious on how Jericho is going to respond on Dynamite after this match and how they're going to reset the learning tree.
I think he's going to chop the learning tree down and then come back as a palm tree. I don't know. He keeps reinventing himself, and it works. So and as much as shit as I talk about him, I am definitely not on the retire train. I'm like, anybody that can still do a line salt at his age, you could keep him in the ring. It's not like he was holding no bad spots or anything like that. And then to Jason's point, it's like, look at all the people he is putting on. Like, if this FTW title wasn't on him, you wouldn't be as attached to Hook as you are. So I can't say that he's in that Hulk Hogan type of vein where it's just like, oh, put me over on this. It's like, no, like all these cats are getting better that is around him. And you can see that from when he started, like even like Sammy Guevara. Like, again, I may not watch this as much, but I've seen like all these people that they keep talking about that are getting these spots, getting these shows, getting these promos and stuff like that. All of them stem from one person, and that is Chris Jericho. All of them had to go through the class of Jericho in order for them to get to the level that they are now. But I do also feel this should have been on Dynamite. We could have saved a hot 20 minutes of this. And then also from another camera angle perspective, if you're gonna have Taz, the legend, come back, can you please let him do his spot first before Hook did his finish and made Jericho tap? How you gonna have both of them consecutively tap out and not have a camera angle of both of them?
You know, I don't think we're gonna see Jericho for a while. Fozzy has their 25th anniversary tour they're getting ready to start. And I know that he's been on tour and shown up on TV, but I think a break would be good. You know, I think the haters, you know, they'll get what they want for a while, and then he'll come back as, you know, someone said, a eucalyptus tree, you know, holding a koala. You know, that'd be cool, mate. You know, little Australian love there. And you know, everything he does, I'm into. You know, like I said, hi guys. I just laugh.
It's just so funny the way he says it, and I just crack up so much. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I don't get it. I don't get the retirement thing. I'm like, I don't know. Like Flair's about that time. It's about that time. Jericho, it's like, yo, Jericho keeps coming back with something that gets you entertained. So it's just like, it's not like it's annoyingly that he's there. It's just like, no, I'm glad to see him.
Yep.
So, but we're gonna move on to the next match that we had, which I believe was the tag team championship match against FTR, Young Bucks, and the Acclaim. Just found out what FTR stood for. For the longest, kept trying to figure out what is FTR me, and I finally Googled it, and I was like, oh, that's what that means. WWE, give them their damn shit, please. Let them be the Revival. Give them their trademark back. Please do. Like, stop holding out on that. You know that's who they are. Ain't no other team finna be named the Revival. And if you name a group the Revival, you ain't shit for that. Give them their trademark so they can have it.
You know, they've been gone so long. They're more FTR than they are the Revival at this point.
That's true. That's true. I give you that. That is definitely true. But the Young Bucks remain the tag team champions. My pick was the Acclaim just because they, were young. They got the crowd behind them. Courtney, if you can remind me, who was your pick for this?
I actually picked the Acclaim to win.
Okay. And then Jason, I know you weren't on the show, but before seeing the match, who were you going for to win for the titles?
I actually thought it was going to be the Young Bucks or the Field. I didn't think they were going to retain at all, but I guess this makes sense because, they're in control. They're in power. They did what they are. They hold the belts for another couple weeks or, it made the storyline make sense. They're the champs and they're in control. So what is it? I think 2 matches in the 3 months they've had the titles or something like that. So I thought they were either, I know how dumb that sounds. They're either going to lose or they're going to win. Of course, that's right. But I didn't really have a preference of who was going to beat them. I'm an FTR guy, but I think FTR and the belts they don't need to be together. The Acclaim could probably use them, I'm a little played out with the Acclaim. The whole scissor thing doesn't really entertain me anymore. I thought maybe this would be the beginning of a split with Bowens and Caster, but none of that happened. So,
gotcha. Now, I gotta say, I kind of feel the same way about this. One, I didn't know the Acclaim had won the tag titles before. I thought it was gonna be their first one. Yeah. And that dropped it down for me a little bit more. And then to Jason's point, when I've never heard the scissor me thing.
Okay.
And so when they were coming out, I was like, what's the scissors for? I was like, what they doing? And then that man screamed on the mic, "Scissor me daddy." I was like, can we go back to Friday? I want to change my vote. It is not the Acclaim no more. And I almost had, I did kind of slightly have an attitude with the Young Bucks when they got announced. I don't remember all of what they said before they said the tag team champs, the Young Bucks, but I'm like, listen, just because y'all work here, y'all don't need to be having this long ass intro. Then they had a moment in the match where I was like, I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Nick did a sequence in there. I can't remember exactly what it was, but when he jumped up, popped off through the middle rope, and then cut that DDT onto the guy from the Acclaim, I was like, that's why they champs.
Yeah, Nick Jackson.
That's why they champs right there. So this didn't seem like to me one of those like, oh, we're keeping them over because of who they are. It's like, no, we're showing you why we got them titles. And there's a reason why. That's a bad tag team in the Young Bucks. But Courtney, I know this was one of your, I want to save you for that because I know this was one of your most exciting matches. So tell me, how did you feel about the overall match? And what does it look like for the tag team division with the Young Bucks still standing tall?
For me, and I'm actually going to talk about this tomorrow because this is kind of on WWE because I'm a huge fan when it comes to tag team wrestling. I love it when it's in the forefront, when it has a story. I feel like there is a lot more to take in. And even though I couldn't stand the Young Bucks, even though they try to run around thinking they own the place, they show why they are the best tag team in all of AEW, which I'm okay with that. Like, they are talented. I can't take away from the talent that they put in the ring, especially some of the matches I've seen. If you saw last year at Wembley when they faced off against FTR, the tag team tournament they were in, even like going back to when AEW first started, when you had the tag team, you can't take anything away from them. So that's why they are the champs. Now,
No, go ahead. Sorry. I'm going to recommend a match for Councilman to go back and watch, but go ahead, Courtney.
Okay. But it was very intriguing seeing a tag team attack Cash Wheeler because that's going to be interesting to see. But also, with the Acclaim, because for me, when it comes to the tag team titles, especially AEW homegrown talent, if there is a team that can challenge and give a long-term storyline to the Young Bucks, it has to be the Acclaim. And the reason why I say this, and also because I root for them, because Anthony's from my home state of New Jersey, so that's a bonus plus for me. And also, Caster doesn't do a lot of interviews, but I listened to 2 interviews that he did. One with Isaiah Cassidy, which I recommend watching because that gives you a whole different perspective of Caster and seeing how they develop, and also seeing they won the titles 2 years ago and seeing them have that doubt. Because I remember Blood and Guts, I was looking at all the comments, everybody did not want them in Blood and Guts, and I'm like, why? It makes a lot of sense. They put on a really good performance, especially if you saw the promo after they did at Blood and Guts. It gets them fired up, and I can't blame them. So I do see a storyline between the Young Bucks and the Acclaim that's not going to go away, but I feel like it really needs to be a lot more deeper, and I really want to see a rivalry within the tag team division that could take it to next level. And also, I would love to see the Young Bucks kind of get personal with the Acclaim, especially towards Billy Gunn, because Billy's been super supportive of them throughout their run so far. So it would be nice to see the Young Bucks kind of get into their skin a bit, because it's there, but I really want to see them level up in that rivalry. And I enjoyed the tag team match, but I'm excited to see what's going to happen moving forward, especially on Wednesday night on Dynamite.
So, Councilman, 2 years ago, All Out Chicago, it was the Acclaimed against tag champs Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. The crowd was so for the Acclaimed. I was there, and the Acclaimed lost. Spoiler alert from 2 years ago. But the match I was going to recommend for you was from the first Double or Nothing in Vegas, Young Bucks against the Lucha Bros. Okay. You want to see something that this was the beginning of AEW. The Bucks were, young and hungry, and the saying is full of piss and vinegar or whatever that saying is. Yeah, those are 2 matches you should check out if you want to see some just amazing tag matches. And the crowd, like I said, when the Acclaim lost in Chicago, dude, it went crazy. Now, they ended up winning the titles 3 nights later on Dynamite, but that was when Keith Lee was actually important in AEW, which is my fear for Ricochet, which we'll get into that in a bit. So, yeah, those are 2 matches. If you're looking for some tag matches from AEW, go check those 2 out for sure.
Were they still doing the scissors thing?
Yeah, scissors stuff just started. So
I don't like that. I don't even want to touch my own scissors now.
I'm over it. So
I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know why. I got questions that I don't want to ask. I don't know what I know the answers to. But why is scissor me and daddy in the same question sentence? Why? Those are 2 things I don't think supposed to be in a sentence.
That night in Chicago is where the "Whoa, Scissor Me, Daddy" song started, to my knowledge. So you can blame Chicago for that one. So,
but there's something in the middle of the. You know what? That's
some personal reflection you need to do, my man.
Yeah, we do that while we go to commercial with our sponsors at ACW and of course some merch.
This episode of Women's Wrestling Talk has been brought to you by All Caribbean Wrestling. Catch the wave. Go to allcaribbeanwrestling.com to check out all the latest pay-per-views or go on the YouTube page at All Caribbean Wrestling. Also, go and check out their socials on Instagram at All Caribbean Wrestling and on X at All Caribbean WR1.
Hey, yo, you. Yeah, you that's watching this. You sitting on the couch staring at the screen not knowing what you want to do like this is an online college. Are you tired of wearing shirts that make you look like an extra stuck in catering? Do you want to step your wrestling swag game up to the next level? Then Women's Wrestling Talk has got you covered. Like literally. Are you for life in pink or black and white? Or maybe you're the EST and people need to respect you accordingly. Want to put some pride in your stride and show off the muscle in your hustle? Then make sure you check out the WWT store. Not now, but right now. Alright? What you waiting for? Head to www.talkpodstore.com and don't make me fight you. Shit.
I Googled what male scissoring was.
Oh,
I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have.
I told you, man. Personal time for that. I see.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
There.
I should have waited. I should have. I don't know why. I did. I don't know why. Like you would steer me wrong. And
I would not. I would never do that. So
we're gonna keep this pushing with the casino gauntlet match. And this would guarantee the winner a world title shot. And the way that this works is 21 people are supposed to come out, and whoever gets the first pinfall wins the match. Now, as they said, this could be where 5 people could have came out and it could have been over, and that this match could end at any time. What's another word for stupid? Like I want to be in the room when this idea was pitched. Because is it just me or does this don't make no fucking sense?
they do this. They have a few different versions of this. They have the casino battle royale where groups of 5 are come out at a time where it's based off the suits of cards, so like hearts, diamonds, jacks, spade, or hearts, diamonds, spades, clubs. Like if Pharaoh, you were with the heart group, the 5 of you would roll out at once. Courtney would be in the club group, that type of thing. So they just do a little different spins on it. Depending where they are. The casino thing started in Vegas for Double or Nothing because it was Vegas casino. I am looking up synonyms for stupid. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like imagine us. Imagine I'm number 18, Courtney, you 19, Jason, you 20.
Mm-hmm.
And they like, yo, 19 about to come out. Bet. I'm getting ready. I'm about to go out there. Ding, ding, ding. The match is over before my stuff even started.
Wait,
and imagine y'all two dressed up, ready to go out, and it's like, oh yeah, the match is over.
Wait, did all 21 not get into the match?
No.
Oh, I was not even paying attention to that. Wow.
I was counting that. I was
okay.
Like, I think 14 came out.
Wow. Synonyms for stupid. Crazy, obtuse, simple-minded, empty-headed, unintelligent, dense, brainless, dull. I never heard this one before. Pig ignorant. Never heard that one before.
The people who made this, yeah. What was the one? Obtuse?
Obtuse.
I like this one. The obtuse gauntlet match is what we're gonna call this. So in the obtuse gauntlet match, we once again, whoever got a pinfall first won. A lot of back and forth between people, and we're gonna get to the ending. But I just want to know from y'all. I want to know from both of you, starting with Jason. How'd you feel about this obtuse gauntlet match?
I think it's fun. I thought Nigel was fun because a lot of people thought that he could win, and I thought he could win too until commentary literally mapped out why I thought he was going to win. Jeff Jarrett, loudest pop of the night until a minute later when Ricochet got the loudest pop of the night. Ricochet looked amazing. Like he's the godfather of flippy shit in wrestling. So this is perfect for him. AEW and Ricochet are the perfect match. The ending of the match sucked. It was obtuse, thickness, pig ignorant. What do we got here? Batty, dotty, cuckoo, cockeyed, lunatic, asinine. I like asinine. The ending of the match was asinine.
There it is.
Christian Cage came out And they said on commentary he wanted the heavyweight title. So, okay, cool. He's limping out. He's selling what happened in the ladder match. Perfect. And then Luchasaurus comes out. He hasn't been Luchasaurus in months. So it's like, oh my God, Luchasaurus is coming out. He's going to kick Christian Cage's ass until he didn't. He helped Christian Cage win. What the hell is going on? What's the point? Would be one more second here. That would be ludicrous. And I'm done.
I just want to thank you for all of that, Jason. Because if I heard the word demure one more time and words you don't I was going to fucking lose it. I was going to lose it. People were not being mindful of my patience with hearing that on the internet. Courtney, your thoughts on this obtuse gauntlet match?
Well, first off, it was a fun, entertaining match to watch. As you mentioned, Orange Cassidy got a pop. Jeff Jarrett got a pop. It was nice to see Nigel back in the ring because I did hear that he was cleared and ready to go in a one or two interviews. So I said, oh, he's ready to go. He's cleared. So it was nice to see him back in the ring. It looks like he never missed a beat. It was nice to see Ricochet back in there in the ring again. And there was a lot of good spots here and there, but the ending, it was a bit messy. I have nothing against Christian. I followed his career. I respected it, but it just would have made more sense if it was like Nigel winning it, considering, well, we're going to talk about the main event later. It just made more sense to me if Nigel was going to get it, or maybe for the first time, Orange Cassidy, because he never, ever faced out for the world title. That could be something fresh for him because he only held that international title. Or I don't know, some of the veterans. There could have been so much to choose from. I know my pick was Hangman because there's still bad blood with Swerve. There still is. It's not going to change. That was my pick, but it was a fun match, but it was just a messy ending. It was very, very messy, and it didn't have all of the participants coming in, which I understand the winner pins it, but it should have kept the match going and at least brought out all 21, because that's what happened when Will Ospreay won the gauntlet match to get a shot at the international title, and Roderick Strong didn't come in, and he was irate after the match. So it was a fun match, but a messy ending.
With typical AEW booking, do we think, or do you guys think, or anybody in the chat thinks that on Wednesday we're going to get a match with the people that did not get the other 7 that didn't get to come out? Do you think we get a match with those guys as like a make good, or they'll word it in some way? These stars didn't get a chance to perform, and now they're going to get a match, and the winner gets a shot at Christian, and then the winner of that gets the shot at the title, or some crazy weird booking stuff.
If it's not on Dynamite, it could be on Collision.
Okay,
Yeah,
Collision makes sense. Yeah, Rampage.
Yeah, something like that, or like they might, just because of the fact you did this. But this just is proof. Like, again, it was a fun match, but because of the ending, it shows you if it's not broke, don't fix it. Y'all know we like battle royals, right? Like, we like when there's a lot of people in the ring and the stipulation is getting thrown over the top rope. A lot of the stuff they did in this match could have happened in a battle royal where to win, everyone had to go over the top rope till the last person was there. Even the spots we saw from certain people, all of this could have been in a battle royal. And to give us an ass ending like that, for me, I think it showed a couple things. One, glad to see Ricochet there, and Ricochet proving, like from what we talked about Friday, that there's a reason why he's him and the rest of these people can do what he does. But there's still the reason why they're here and he's here. He showed tonight that it's like, yo, yeah, y'all be flying around this thing. You don't fly like me. And they don't. Ricochet showed why he is the human cheat code. But to have that, to have Nigel, and to also give away the fact that we now knew Daniel Bryan was going to win thanks to commentary talking about, oh, that Nigel's back. We know that he has this whole beef with Bryan Danielson. So imagine if he won, he's going to have to get off and be like, well, now we know who won. Now we know who the fuck going to win. Thank y'all for giving that away. And that just proved that. So bravo to production once again. Then just Luchasaurus, which was like, what it also taught me with production was, are there no screens in Wembley? Like, are there no like TVs there? Because I noticed that the reactions were off when the music hit because people didn't know who were coming out. Even when the Ricochet thing happened, that one I got because it was the R new music, so you waiting to see who it is. But for everybody else, it was kind of like they didn't know who they were or the timing was off.
I mean, I know Luchasaurus's name came up on the screen.
Yeah, I saw that bullshit. I was like, I thought this was Kill Switch. I thought are there twin people with this same mask? I was like, I know I don't watch this show like that. I was like,
God, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I was like, are there two? Is one wearing green?
Same everything. Oh.
Yeah, like Kill Switch wears black. I was like, because I don't know. I was like, that'd be dope. But I guess it's just ask like too, like, how does this make the rest of them look though, as far as the rest of their talent and the way that they ended this, especially the way that it was going, because it was fun, as y'all said, but how does this make them look as far as a company goes, and to see who's now going after the world title? Two very older wrestlers that are going to be doing the main event most likely at All Out.
Well, you're leaving out one very important fact about these two older gentlemen. They're two ex-WWE guys, which has been my gripe with AEW all along, because when the new toy from WWE comes in, they get a belt right away. Danielson's the exception. I get it. But it just seems that the ex-WWE guys, they moved to the front of the line.
Yeah.
So I don't know I don't know if these guys are going to be pissy because of the way it ended, but it just was not. It was so much fun. I was really enjoying it. And then the way it went down, I was like, sad trombone.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially for folks like Kyle O'Reilly and like Roger Strong. I was like, oh, because I watched in a while. So I'm like, oh, the Undisputed Boys not together no more. And I'm like, I'm ready to see these spots. But seeing like how Kyle O'Reilly took one on the chin for Roderick, and I'm just like, oh, snap, I'm seeing it. And then it was just choke slam. Throw Christian on top. 1, 2, 3.
If you want to see the match, because they had a match between them, go check out Dynasty. Because they had a match with each other, and it was so incredible. And that should have been like long term. But their match at Dynasty was just so good.
All right, I'm gonna check that one out too.
Yeah, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. I mean, those guys delivered.
They did. I think all of them delivered on this match. But who? So I'll ask this before we move to the next one. Who would you have liked to have seen take the win in this? And Courtney, we'll start with you. Who would have been your pick out of the folks that we did see to win this whole thing?
I know a lot of people said Nigel, but I would have loved to see Orange Cassidy win. I just love Orange Cassidy. He, everybody always gets on him, but you know what? If you've seen some of his matches against Zack Sabre Jr., last year at Forbidden Door, even when he was international champion, and one match, his face was so bloody. And even last year at All In, when he faced off against Moxley, that guy's a tough dude. He's a very, very tough dude. And it would have been nice to see him get that opportunity because, as I mentioned, he never had the chance to actually chase the World Heavyweight title. It's always been international title. So it would have been nice for him to get that opportunity. So my pick was Orange.
Jeff Jarrett. I love Double J. I've always been a fan. I love the fact that he's getting this new lease on life wrestling. And if it's not going to be Jeff Jarrett, they should have just said, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to make Ricochet the top guy. He looked like the top guy in that match. Why not just have him get the win?
Right? Waste of a debut. I'm so like, and I think, like I said, he should have popped up in the next match that we go get into. That should have been the debut, not this.
Yep.
My pick, I would have went for Zack Sabre Jr. what he was doing in that ring, but then also too, it would have made it really look good for New Japan, and especially with what he's going into, and the fact that he's not even waiting for his title shot at Wrestle Kingdom, like he's coming for it now. For him to have both titles, and with New Japan trying to move in this new direction, could have really been something. But I do like too that all three of our picks would have been great matches for either one of these people who were in the AEW Championship match tonight. All of them would have gave phenomenal matches with either one of them. But we're going to get to that in just a little bit. We have to now move on to...
I think it was Ospreay and...
Oh, Ospreay.
Yeah, Ospreay on JF.
I feel like I just want to get rid of that other match so bad. That's why. The AEW blank championship, whatever it is, because it just can't figure out what it wants to be. It was international, it was American. I guess it's back to international now because Will Ospreay has defeated his inner demons and has reclaimed the AEW International Championship against the hilarious MJF.
You know, I've always liked MJF. MAGA JF is by far my favorite version of this guy. I mean, he looked like he bought that hat at Spirit Halloween that he came out with tonight. Like the whole suit looked great, and he had that stupid like Spirit Halloween hat. I think it was Thursday or Friday. I finally got to watch Dynamite, and the promo they had on Dynamite Wednesday really got me amped up for this match, and to the point where like I could not wait. I thought maybe that they would consider throwing this on last. I thought for a moment, I was like, maybe, but the match was awesome. You know, I mean, these guys are so good. I don't really know anything about Ospreay other than what he's done at AEW. I never really got into New Japan and stuff like that, but like, God damn this guy. What can't he do? So I would have loved to have seen MJF win in England, but I'm not mad at it. I don't know what MJF is going to do next, but shit. Let him and Ricochet have some matches. I don't care. But the match was, I thought at this point, this was my match of the night. Yeah. Then the main event took that spot.
Yeah. I remember that. And that's a very arguable statement too, because it was definitely up there. Courtney, your thoughts on this match?
It was definitely an incredible match. The build up that they had, everything else. It was so nice to see Daniel Garcia returning, costing MJF the match. So that's going to be really fun. I don't know if they're going to have a match at All Out, maybe Wrestle Dream, but I'm excited to see where that's going to go. And it's going to be fun. I'm really excited to see Daniel Garcia really get aggressive towards MJF. And I will say, I love MJF. And I'm not going to say I'm crazy about MJF because he's very talented, very gifted athlete. But of course, he does come off as a jerk. But I guess that's just his MO. He's a jerk. He likes to be a jerk. He embraces that. That's just who he is. And I'm okay with that. But seeing Will Ospreay, because I had the chance to see archive footage of New Japan when he was in it, and also seeing last year when he came to AEW. And also during Dynamite, when Bryan Danielson came up to him and looked at him and said, "Do it, you do it." And he knew what he was referring to. And the minute he got the blessing from Danielson, it was like aggressive mode just flipped the switch on him, and he did the Tiger Giant and he won. So I'm very intrigued on how he's going to present himself as an international champion moving forward. I'm looking forward to his match with Pac at All Out, because Pac did say he is going to challenge whoever was the winner of this match at All Out. That's going to be a good match, and I'm very intrigued on what direction the international championship is going to go, and also a rivalry between Daniel Garcia and MJF. I'm excited to see that too.
Yeah. Now this was like, I think to Jason's point, this was match of the night for me. I've always followed Will Ospreay, so to see him in a pay-per-view now on the States, and I think the promo they did with Ninja Assassin for the new game coming out and having him be the sponsor of it, like it so pairs up in telling the story. And then with him, like him coming to the West Coast, and I was like, "Ooh!" I was like, "Yo, this is a promo." Because Jason's point and your point, Courtney, a lot of them were moving so fast, like under a minute. I'm just like, y'all not getting me into these matches. Had I not known these were happening, I'd be like, "Oh, okay," because them promos are what get you. So like to see Ospreay come out to that, I just thought that was dope. And to see that, for me, even though he won the belt, there were no losers here because MJF just showed why he is a superstar and why he can be great without a belt. Like, I don't think him not having a belt is going to hurt him one bit. I think the match between him and Daniel Garcia, when it happens, is going to be phenomenal just because of how he works in the ring, from just the personality to the in-ring actual technical performances, and even to match with what Ospreay is doing. Both of these men are going to do absolutely well, and I hope what this can do for them is carve a piece out of AEW and start making this division so excellent that people want to go after this belt. People want to go after the AEW International Championship rather than the World one, just because of how many bangers of matches that they put on. I think that's what they have a story to be able to do. Is just going to be up to Fake TK if he's going to see that and want to tell it properly. So, but we'll see. I don't have no faith in it at all. After I found out what scissoring is.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But then we move on to the filler match that happened so quickly. I do not know how this ended, except that the scapegoat won and apparently was about to set Darby Allin on fire. I went to the bathroom. Literally I went to the bathroom. I came back and the match was over.
It was a lot of Perry duct taped Darby's hands together and then beat him down in the aisle, then took Darby's belt off and wrapped around his feet, and then threw him off the stage through a table. And it was funny because Shivani's like, "That's at least 12 feet." And you hear someone, "No, Tony, that's much higher than 12." He goes, "Okay, so it's 15 feet that he threw him." And then he put him in the body bag. Somehow Darby's head popped out of the body bag. It was like, when a woman gives birth, which is like popped out. And then they beat him down, slammed the thing, and they were going to set him on fire. And then Sting came out, saved the day. So much for that retirement.
What are we doing? Tell me Daniel Bryan is about to win without telling me Daniel Bryan is about to win. Sting is back. I'm like, what did you just retire? You just left.
That is the whole break in case of emergency, break glass for big event. What I thought was interesting towards the end, and it didn't happen. They made a point of following Sting ringside. And he went in, grabbed his bat, and walked back out. And I'm like, this is it. He's going to give Darby the bat, that passing of the torch, but that didn't happen. So
I'm kind of glad that wouldn't happen right here after how that just went with that match.
Yeah, I thought it would have, but no.
Courtney, your thoughts on this filler match while everybody went got nachos?
This is actually the match I was really excited for. Because I thought at least it would have been a good, solid match because the build-up was so great between them. But it just came by super quick. And seeing Darby covered up in thumbtacks, I'm like, there was some stuff that it could have been better, solid, qualified match because it's just a build-up. It could have been a lot more different. I was happy to see Sting back. Because even though he retired from in-ring.
Oh, yeah.
But, in-ring. But I'm curious on what, I know, quote-unquote, in-ring. But I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if he made an appearance on Dynamite to explain why he came to Wembley.
He's making the authority figure at this point.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Christopher Daniels, let's just do that if they're going to use him.
I know. That's what I'm thinking. So it would be nice to hear him say what he had to say on Dynamite. And also, I think the rivalry between Perry and Darby. This is far from over. I think they could put on a better quality match. I don't even care. I don't think it's going to be at All Out. I think it may be in Darby's home state of Washington in October. I do
Yeah.
think they can put on a quality match. I just was very disappointed that the match wasn't expected that I wanted to be.
Yeah, it felt like, you know, them opening cartoons they used to have before the movie start.
Yeah.
They was like, so what's the they came in and they were like, okay, so what's the match? We're not worried about the match. Sting is here. We just need y'all to do something for like 5 minutes, and then Sting gonna come out.
Yeah.
You want to go to body bag tonight? You ever been in the body bag, Darby? We're gonna put you. We're gonna tie your feet, throw you off the road, throw you off the ramp into a table. We're gonna put you in the body bag, and then we're gonna throw you in the coffin. And they're gonna light it on fire because you lit, scapegoat on fire. So they're gonna light you on fire, and then Sting gonna come out. And that's the match.
Well, Darby did lose his first coffin match. So that's the first L he took. That's a big deal.
And I knew it was some bullshit when I seen how far that coffin was from the ring. This one, I knew this match was gonna be on some bullshit. I was like, why is the coffin so far away? What's going on? The coffin is somewhat closer to the ring. This finna be a dumbass match. Watch. And it was. I thought we was gonna see so much more from this match, especially from these two. Especially after what he did to that belt, I thought this is it. This finna be like, I thought this was gonna be one of those like up there with match of the night. And it was
not.
It was worse than one of them pillowcase matches back in the WWE Attitude Era. Like,
yeah.
That's what this felt like. So hopefully they get some retribution like them 7 people that didn't come out of that gauntlet match this week or whatever the pay-per-view is. So, but Jack Perry still remains your TNT champion. Hopefully we get to see what comes out of this or what's next for both him and Darby Allin.
Cool.
But the last two matches is the TBS Championship champion Mercedes Moné versus the Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. And I don't think anyone is surprised that Mercedes Moné remained the TBS champion. I would just like to get your thoughts on the 4th best horsewoman's victory tonight. Jason, your thoughts on this match?
It wasn't good. I've said all along, Sasha Banks is better than Mercedes Moné. Sasha Banks was scripted. I feel like she worked harder than what she does now. Giving her a microphone is like, it's terrible. She's good in the ring, but this match just didn't do it for me. I'm not a fan of Mercedes. I like Sasha better. The match just didn't do it for me. And I'm, Britt Baker's from Pittsburgh like I am. I'm a fan, but it just didn't work for me. I don't know if there's just no chemistry there or what the deal is. I was not a fan. And then I would like to think I'm not the only person that feels that way.
Okay. Courtney, your thoughts on this match?
There was a few bright spots in the match where they did deliver, because there was sometimes the crowd that did get in very nuts. I actually did enjoy Britt's homage to Eddie Guerrero, where he would always have a tactic of giving Camille the belt, and then she faked it. So I thought that was a really cute high point in the match. The crowd was into it, and even though it did feel underwhelming, there was some spots that were bright. Mercedes so far, she's beaten 3 former AEW women's champions. So I don't know what's gonna be in her direction after Britt, because I'm very intrigued on where this was gonna go. I feel like this is not the end of their rivalry. Thinking long-term wise, I do think they can create a long-term rivalry between them, but it's going to be very interesting on how this is going to go. It doesn't have to involve the TBS Women's Championship. I'm also curious on what she's going to do with the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. I know she's probably going to have a few people that will challenge for her belt, but I'm very intrigued. Like, this is not the end of their rivalry. This is only the beginning. And I'm very curious on how it's going to take them moving forward.
What we need for this to work is RJ City. Much like the Tony Storm Mariah May, we need RJ City to book this.
I feel like he should book all the women's matches from now on.
Yes.
Because this was not it. This was
exactly.
This is yo. y'all know my favorite one.
I'm not feeling it.
No.
It was a solid match. The match did not match up, though, no pun intended, to all of the hype y'all put behind this. With so much of what you built towards this, for it to be just a solid match, not only makes you look bad booking wise, but it also shows what we consistently talk about with the fake TK when it comes to your shiny toys, because you put the best story in your women's division as the second match, and you betted all your chips on this one when you should have reversed both of them.
Yeah.
This should have been the second match. And that would have been okay, because to Courtney's point, this could have been the first chapter in what can lead to some other great matches between these two, especially if that was going to be the performance. The finish was very undersold. You can tell that we wasn't sure what was supposed to happen. And you can see that both of these two were holding back in the ring. Britt didn't want to mess up the shiny new toy, and Mercedes is still trying to figure out what kind of story she wanted to tell, which kind of let me know too there wasn't a lot of input from Britt or from anyone else, and that really showed in this match. Like I said, it was solid. It didn't. I veered off a couple of times from it. It got through what it needed to do, but this is not your top women's division's story. And I really hope Fake TK saw this and can learn from that to go like, hey, if we're gonna keep Tony and Mariah going, or if it's done, your women's champion here, TBS division right here. Not saying they're not both important, but you just showed to us that you are betting on your shiny new toy and Impact alone. You're turning your company into TikTok, and not in a good way.
It wasn't good.
This was very underwhelming for what y'all put into this. I'm sorry.
I think we should move on to the main event. That's definitely what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Now, what was not disappointing, although pissed me off. Pissed me off, though. The AEW World Championship, which we already, if you were watching the pay-per-view, was told what was going to happen 14 times throughout the entire pay-per-view. It was title versus career. And of course, after the dust was settled in Wembley, your new AEW World Champion is Bryan Danielson. The American Dragon is not retiring, and won by submission of Swerve Strickland.
Go ahead, Courtney.
I'm just happy that he's champion. I mean, I like Swerve, but I'm just happy Bryan Danielson's champion. How can you not go against this guy? It's just his resilience and his hard work. But also, I'm not surprised that he won by submission, because that's his specialty. He does submission, which I'm not sure if it's gonna hurt Swerve, because hopefully they don't start a "you tapped out" chant on Dynamite.
You know they are. You know they are.
I know, on Wednesday. That's gonna be interesting to say. But it was just a wonderful moment to see Brie and the kids and his family there just celebrating his victory. The crowd getting into it. Also, I'm not surprised because I'm not surprised Hangman tried to interfere in the match. I know he tried to push away Prince Nana during the match, and I know security had to get him out of there. But overall, it was a really great match. Swerve tried to make intimidation tactics towards Free and the kids, and I think he made one of the kids cry.
Good.
He
Yes.
made one of the kids cry, but they delivered. It was a really good match. I enjoyed both of their entrances too. I'm not surprised Bryan Danielson used the final countdown. It was great. It was so awesome just leading into the main event. And then of course, both of their entrances, they really delivered a good match. I'm very curious on Wednesday at Dynamite on Wednesday. Grand Slam in a couple weeks. Darby Allin. That match, I'm very intrigued on that match, and also not All Out, but Tacoma, Washington, and Wrestle Dream. That's Swerve's hometown, so a lot can happen between now and then. But I give kudos to Bryan Danielson finally capturing the belt. 5 years in the making, 4 years in the making, and during his tenure at AEW, and kudos to him.
You had mentioned the entrances. Danielson won the entrance battle. I felt like the Swerve one. I feel like they always do the same thing, and this one it seemed a bit cluster fucked. I don't know why. It wasn't as smooth as I thought it would be. The match was great. The one thing that didn't make sense is when they did that spot where he dropped him on his neck on the belt. Or on the ring bell, Danielson cut his forehead.
Yeah.
He landed back here. Why's your forehead cut, bro?
Right.
And then, Councilman, I'm not going to say what I think it was you that wrote in the chat about the finish, because I feel the same way. But a great match, and I was never a guy that – I never didn't like Swerve, but I guess I really never put a lot of attention into him. Tonight won me over. Like the taunting the kids, and I mean, I've seen a lot of his stuff before, but I really never put a lot of caring into it. And I'm like, all right, yeah, he won me over tonight. So I will let you discuss the finish, because I think you and I are on the same boat on this one.
Where's my notebook? Because I wrote notes on this. First and foremost, solid, great match. Now I'm gonna say solid, great match that they had. Entrances, not anything towards them. This is just me being nitpicky. AEW, I need you to get some better fireworks. Stop getting your fireworks from the NFL. You need pyro, not fireworks. Pyro, because the fact I didn't hear the do on any of these fireworks, that's a problem. This was NFL when the teams come out from the thing and they got the little balloon shit stuff and the little sparkles come out. That's what that felt like. Also, if you're gonna have Daniel Bryan come out to the final countdown, when he gets up and does the final countdown, that's when all the fireworks go off. That's when the ones outside go off. That's how you get us all hyped and ready for this. Not saying it wasn't great. These were great entrances. Well, let me rephrase that. Daniels was. Swerve's, like you said, a little messy. And I think it was also messy too because I don't think you worried more about what it is you wanted and not much so the crowd. I don't think London knew who Flex was from the New York DJs and stuff. So that didn't hit for them. Now, if you'd have got someone from there to introduce y'all, that would have been cool. And I'm about to be very biased about this, but the fact you brought Bun B out, me and him are from the same hometown. You should have let them perform for you first and then come out. Like, let him do his verse first and then drop your entrance and then start to do the dance. It just did kind of look like, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me when House of Glory had their entrances. It'd be a lot going on at House of Glory. Like, You hear the music start playing, people be on the stage. I swear I saw somebody selling drugs when one of these people was coming out, like, because they were on stage. And I know a slide when I see a slide of some narcotics going somewhere. And I saw that at Halls of Glory. That's what his kind of remind me of. The match was great. Also, though, as what you said when it comes to this WWE stuff, y'all showed Bree and his kids way too much. Like, y'all milked the fact that Bree was there. Y'all wanted to make sure y'all got that camera time, and I saw what you was doing. Y'all put the focus on them way too much, even between the match when they weren't even being interacted with. Shame on y'all. This ending, after all of the setup y'all gave us, how are you gonna have Swerve tap out to this man? And then when you gave us the obvious ending it was supposed to, when he did this to his flying knee, it's like, okay, the flying knee gotta end it. And as many times as you started throwing it at him, I'm like, the flying knee is what's gonna catch him if he is to lose. I don't like how this went down. I do not like the fact that you made the champion tap out, and I do think that it is going to hurt Swerve, because if Hangman is supposed to be his next one, is this now two heels going after each other? Or is Swerve an anti-hero? What does this leave him for? But I don't think this was handled right. And then also, too, something I didn't like and something that popped up, too, I'm going to need JR to kind of get with the times, because the fact that he told Swerve to just shut up and wrestle, and I was like,
what?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. I caught that shit.
Oh, when he went over to bring the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, just shut up and wrestle. And I was like,
I'm going to have to go back and watch that one. I missed that completely.
Yeah,
Wow.
he did say that.
I was like, JR, I was like, look, I'm not finna go there with you. I was like, but I'm just going to put it as, you may need to read a book on the times. That term is a little problematic with what you just said. And then for this to happen,
Boza, there are different ways he could have said it. I'm looking at Boza's comment in the chat there. There's different ways he could have said instead of saying "shut up and wrestle." So
yeah, he could have phrased that a lot better. But we know what it's to. It's just one of the things, of course, because of where we live in the social media age, that could eat up very negatively. But we, as fans, if you're watching it, it's like, yo, this man is messing with his kids. He's talking trash to his kids. I get why you're saying that to him, but how you phrased it could cause some problems.
Yeah. Wow.
But I don't think the tap out, like yo, that was not a great ending for that. And then two, after all of this, we never see him hold the belt. The belt was on the floor the whole time.
Yeah.
And he was just running around playing with his kids. Birdie held the belt more than he did. So after all of this, everybody else went, the trios got the belts on, everything. Like, you not even going to get on the turnbuckle. And
yeah, well,
it kind of just makes me wonder, like, was this supposed to be the end of the match?
I mean, and Buddy Danielson did not work the hard cam. Like, come on, bro. Like, seriously. The end of the pay-per-view, work the hard cam.
Not at all. It was like, yo, and I was like, I'm starting to see why I was like, oh, I see why it's not grabbing me, because these are key elements that bring you into the story. And so it just kind of looked like it was just like, oh, all of this was about Bryan Danielson, period. And we don't even really necessarily have a story as to how we're going to make the former champ look good, as you kind of done with all the other former champs. And so it's just like, man, that's really crappy to do to somebody like Swerve. And I don't think it will hurt him as bad, because of course he's going to give us this thing with Hangman Page, but it's like, yo, to that point, we already seen that. I would have rather seen that with the belt, if you really want to put it on.
Maybe a three-way at all
Maybe.
out?
I would love that, but I know to the point now of if retirement is still in the talks of Bryan Danielson, we at least know 3 matches he got to get through, and that would have to be Darby, Christian, and Nigel has to get in there before if the goal is for Swerve to take it back.
Even if it's like a title eliminator match for Nigel. Let him
Yeah.
lose, but still have the match. Yeah, I think he should have just passed out, not tapped out for Swerve. But
Yeah.
maybe Wednesday he just comes. He's got to deal with Hangman. Maybe he deals with that first. There's a million different ways they can go, but the important thing for me is the fact that they made somebody. They made a star. He was not a transitional champion. So if you're thinking that, shut up. And the future is bright. And what is it? Danielson holds a belt for a few months, whether he drops it to Swerve or somebody else elevates. Cool. Let's go. Let's do it. So.
Yeah.
And he also just signed a new deal, by the way, on his contract. So
Swerve, yeah, I saw that. So he's going to be a main event player for this company for a very long time.
And that's all I want to make sure to keep happening. Like, I just don't like how he was tapped out, but I'm not mad again at Bryan Danielson winning. Just like to Professor's point, it's like, I would not want to see you retire without having this championship. But I would have rather seen you hit the flying knee, pin him clean, and then that be the win. We know what the tap out does to a superstar. We saw it with Liv Morgan when she was SmackDown champion and Ronda tapped her out. That messed her whole run up.
Yeah.
It threw her whole stuff off to watch the champ tap out. That does a lot. But hopefully, I to y'all point, Swerve is a main star, so I'm sure he's going to know how to play that well into his story, especially with Hangman Adam Page coming up. So, but shout out to Bryan Danielson. Not mad that he's champion at all. Not mad at all. I'm glad to know that he has been a Ring of Honor champion, an AEW champion, and a WWE champion. Someone that is dedicated to the craft, that loves this sport. Glad to see him get his shot. Glad to see him take his shot and win at that, and never get tired of hearing the final countdown. Never get tired. So, but that is it. We were trying to make sure we got the pre-show under 2 hours. We are 14 minutes successful, but I just want to get y'all last thoughts on AEW's All In, and just what are you looking forward to seeing lead into the next chapter? Courtney, we'll start with you.
Well, the road to All Out. It's going to be very fascinating how they can pull it off in 2 weeks. And there's going to be a lot of storylines to see. I definitely really want to see more of the women's division. I'm a huge fan of their women's division. I want to see them be successful. They have a loaded roster. I want to see the tag team division elevate a lot more, because I'm a big advocate when it comes to tag team wrestling, and I want to see them at the forefront, have a legit story. And also, this is like a wishful list thinking, but I would love for a tag team to be in the main event spot of a pay-per-view. If the story's right, if the story is right, if everything is planned, they need to be in that main event spot. So I would definitely love to see the tag team division definitely elevate it a lot more. It's going to be interesting with FTR after the ambush they had from one of the tag teams that ambushed them after the match. So that's going to be interesting. But I definitely see something there between the Young Bucks and the Acclaimed. I feel like they can be a rivalry. And also, they met 4 years ago. So this is going to be interesting on having that full circle moment. So I'm really excited on what the women's division, the tag team division is going to bring. I'm also intrigued to see what Will Ospreay has to say after his huge win, because his next opponent is going to be Pac at All Out. So I'm looking forward to that match, and also seeing what's next for Danielson. And also, I'm really curious if Nigel's going to interrupt him after he speaks. I want to hear his thoughts on it.
Yeah, especially now that I know how much he hates Danielson. So, Jason, man, your thoughts and what you looking forward to see?
I want to know. I'm looking forward to MJF. I want to see what is next. I mean, obviously, we know it's going to be Garcia, whether it's Wednesday or. I mean, I think it has to be a TV match. I don't think Garcia is a pay-per-view draw yet. Britt Baker is a favorite, so I don't know how she bounces back. Obviously, This is only like her third or fourth match back. She had a stroke. She was out 10 months. So, like, while I wasn't a fan of that match, I'm glad that she's back. House of Black, Julia hopefully will come back soon. And, like I said, Swerve made me a fan tonight. So I will start paying more attention to Swerve than I have in the past. So it's, I'm not, 100%. Like, I think AEW has great matches. I watch AEW for the matches, whereas WWE, I watch for the stories. So I'm hoping that AEW can get those stories better. Like I said, women's division, get RJ City on the phone. We saw what he just did for the last 8 months or 10 months or whatever it was with Tony Storm.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Same for me. I am now going to start checking out some of these AEW shows. When they got people I want to watch, I'm not going to watch all of these. I'm letting y'all know that now. I'm not going to do it. I'm watch maybe Dynamite. Dynamite seems like that's the place to be. I'm not giving my Saturday nights to AEW. I can tell you that now. That's not happening.
DVR Collision. They always have good matches. They have really good matches on.
There we go. I'm a
That's
DVR.
what I do. I DVR Collision. I DVR Rampage. I don't watch them till like Sunday, so I get DVR stuff.
Okay, because I was like, I'm not gonna keep up with all of that. But I do want to see what's next for Daniel Bryan. I know he's going to deliver great matches with a lot of these cats. Darby, Christian, and dang, I forgot. And then Nigel. Just because I know about that one, so it's just like, okay. And then just to see what Nigel did in this gauntlet match, it's like, yeah, I know y'all gonna put on a fantastic show. Same thing with Swerve. I want to see how Swerve is gonna bounce back. Let's bring that TBS storyline where it needs to be. As you can see the hand motion if you're watching the visual. Let's bring that where it needs to be. Let's get Mariah May up here, open challenge. Hopefully, maybe against whoever I would love to see. So I would like to see that. And then again, I know this is a reach as always, but I always have to throw it out there. Joe Hendry comes and takes the title from Bryan Danielson and retires him. Because I believe in Joe Hendry.
Wow.
Joe Hendry worldwide. That's the hashtag. The belts are coming all on Joe Hendry. Because I believe. But I will say this AEW All In did make me a fan and does make me want to start checking out AEW now. Now, especially too, that I know how to watch it. Like now I know what not to expect. So it's like, okay, I'm coming here to watch the matches, not the entire production.
Yep.
Because we know what's lacking, what's not there. But the matches, I have no problem sitting here watching because they do keep me compelled to watch. So that's going to wrap up this post show. Before we get out of here, though, I always want to make sure that y'all are able to know where to follow our guests and where to support them so they can keep doing the things that they love. Jason, we're going to start off with you first.
Every Friday, That Wrestling Podcast. We just had our 200th episode this past Friday. Pretty cool. Me and 3 of my friends. It's just kind of like your group chat. Everybody has one with wrestling. So we, during the pandemic, we were just doing Zoom calls like everyone else. And I was like, hey, let's just record this and see what happens. And the episode that we did this past Friday, we just went down memory lane. We talked about the beginning. We talked about what we liked, what we didn't. I dropped a secret on this show that none of my friends knew. If that's not a tease for you to go watch this on our YouTube channel or on our audio platforms, it was pretty big. And my friends were very shocked. So at That WrestlePod on socials for that, at that Jason Gray on X, Instagram, and YouTube. I also do commentary for a independent promotion, the Renegade Wrestling Alliance, in right outside of Pittsburgh. RWAlive.com is the website there. And this was fun. I'm glad I was able to jump on, man. So thanks for having me, guys.
Yes, bro. We was glad to have you here too, man. Courtney, how can they support and follow you?
So they can actually follow me both on, I still think of it as Twitter, at Courtney NJ11, where I'm starting to post not just on wrestling stuff, but also life working in the PR and media scene. In addition, I'm also on Instagram on @CourtneyNJ11, where they could follow me after my life as Miss New Jersey and also getting into doing stuff like this. I just put up my bold predictions of All In earlier today. So that was really exciting to do. And feel free to take a look and follow me on any uprising updates.
Very cool.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And you already know where you can follow your councilman. Everything is at Will Pharaoh, Pharaoh. You can join me here on WWT Live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And then immediately an hour and a half after that, you can come jump on my personal Twitch and YouTube to watch me play video games, from wrestling, and then of course straight out of comic books on Fridays. So make sure that you are following and subscribing to those channels so you can stay up to date on all the stuff that I always have dropping from week to week. I want to thank everybody here in the chat, from Eric Isaac to Jason Boza. Of course, the sweetest Oos was in here. Honey was up in here. She's currently at her other job right now, so that's why she wasn't able to join us. But folks like Cliff, Dylan, Antoine Phillips, talking about us and stuff with the match. Crazy Soba, just trying to make sure I catch everyone who was up in here. I think I did, and if I didn't, my apologies. There's a reason why I wear glasses, because my sight's not that great. But I hope I was able to grab everybody. So we want to say peace and blessings to y'all. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Go do something incredible for yourself, and or do just like me. Go watch some of these old video suggestions that I was given. And just like Courtney going to watch these NXT takeovers, I'm going to be watching this All Out Chicago match, the double match, and the Dynasty match, so I can see some great 5-star performances put on. But we want to thank y'all for joining us here at WWT, the #1 in women's wrestling, talking wrestling stuff. I have no idea what they say after #1. I just hold up the #1 and I stop listening. Whatever they said after #1 part, y'all know what we were doing. Catch y'all.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching.